In the shadowed heart of Eldridge, a city where smokestacks pierced the sky like accusing fingers and the river ran thick with the grime of industry, Elara Thornewood eked out an existence that teetered on the brink of oblivion. She was 35, with hair the color of faded autumn leaves and eyes that held the storm of unshed tears. Her husband, Elias, had been a mill worker, crushed beneath a collapsing beam in a factory owned by the ruthless Harlan Crowe, the magnate who controlled half the city's wealth. The accident was deemed unfortunate by the courts, but whispers among the workers spoke of sabotage, corners cut for profit, beams weakened by neglect. Elias's death left Elara with nothing but debts, a ramshackle cottage on the fog-shrouded outskirts, and their son, Finn, a boy of 10 whose curiosity burned brighter than the lanterns in the wealthy districts. The people of Eldridge were a hardened lot, their compassion eroded by the ceaseless grind of survival. Bad luck clings to her like soot, they'd say in the taverns, crossing themselves as Elara passed. No one offered aid. The baker, plump and prosperous, claimed his loaves were spoken for, the tailor sneered that her cursed hands would unravel his threads. Even the orphanage matron turned Finn away from play, fearing his presence would jinx the other children. Elara's once celebrated seamstress skills, intricate embroideries that told tales of forgotten folklore, now gathered dust. She mended rags for pennies, her fingers pricked raw, while Finn scavenged the riverbanks for driftwood to sell as kindling. Their meals were thin porridge and wilted greens, their dreams haunted by the growl of empty bellies. One storm-lashed evening in late autumn, as thunder rattled the cottage's thin walls, a knock echoed like fate's summons. Elara opened the door to a stranger, drenched and defiant against the gale. He was tall, with a lean frame honed by roads unknown, his coat a patchwork of exotic fabrics from lands beyond the sea. His face was angular, marked by a faint scar across one cheek, and his eyes, sharp, emerald green, seemed to pierce the dim light. "Name's Thorne," he said, his voice carrying a lilt from distant shores. "Heard your tale in the Drunken Drake. Figured you could use a dry hearth and a listening ear." Wary but warmed by the flicker of human kindness, Elara let him in. Finn peeked from behind a curtain, clutching the wooden horse his father had carved, a relic of happier times. Over a meager stew of roots and herbs, Thorne listened to Elara's woes, the shunning, the starvation, the suffocating grief. He didn't offer pity. Instead, he pulled a leather-bound journal from his satchel, its pages filled with sketches of markets, ledgers, and diagrams. "You're not cursed," Thorne declared. "You overlooked gold in a mine of fools. Let me show you a business model that turns scraps into empires." He spoke of upcycling, a foreign word to Elara, transforming the city's waste into treasures. The merchants discarded bolts of flawed fabric daily. Elara could claim them, weave her stories into quilts, scarves, and tapestries, each piece tagged with a narrative of resilience. But the twist lay in the model, a cooperative network. Start with a mobile cart, bartered from a sympathetic tinker. Sell not to the locals, but to travelers at the city gates, where tales of the widow's weave could spread like wildfire along trade routes. Thorne stayed a week, teaching by candlelight. He showed Elara how to negotiate without begging, how to track simple accounts on scraps of parchment. Finn, wide-eyed, absorbed it all, sketching his own ideas for toy companions to the fabrics, wooden figures infused with the same folklore. The stranger's energy was infectious. For the first time in years, laughter echoed in the cottage. Their venture began humbly. Under cover of night, Elara and Finn gathered offcuts from alley bins, evading the watchman's lanterns. Thorne's cart, painted with swirling motifs, became their stall. The first sale was to a gypsy caravan, a quilt embroidered with a tale of lost love, exchanged for coins and spices. Word spread. Nobles from afar sought the unique pieces, drawn by the authenticity that mass mills couldn't replicate. Profits trickled in, enough for bread, then meat, then a new roof. But twists lurked in the shadows. As the widow's weave grew, so did envy. Harlan Crowe, the factory owner whose negligence had widowed Elara, caught wind of her success. His spies reported back, this upstart was undercutting his textile empire, using his own discards against him. Crowe, a man of girth and greed with a mustache like coiled wire, saw opportunity in destruction. He sent thugs to sabotage the cart, wheels splintered, fabrics torched. Elara awoke to smoke and screams, pulling Finn from the flames just in time. Devastated, she confronted Thorn, who had vanished that night. Was he a traitor? A plant by Crowe? Doubt gnawed at her. But Finn, wiser than his years, found a hidden note in Thorn's abandoned journal: trials forge strength. Rebuild bigger. Trust the network. Inspired, Elara rallied. She recruited others: the one-armed blacksmith who'd lost his limb in Crowe's mill, the blind storyteller shunned for her witchy tales, a cadre of forgotten widows. Together, they formed the Weavers' Guild, pooling resources for a fortified workshop in an abandoned warehouse. The guild thrived, but another twist emerged. Thorn returned, blooded and bound, dragged before Elara by guild scouts. He'd been captured infiltrating Crowe's manor, seeking evidence of the factory sabotage that killed Elias. Thorn confessed his secret: he was Elias's long-lost brother, exiled years ago after a family feud. Drawn back by rumors of his sibling's death, he posed as a stranger to investigate without alerting Crowe. The business model was his atonement, a way to empower Elara while gathering proof. Armed with documents Thorn had stolen, ledgers proving Crowe's criminal negligence, the guild struck back. They didn't seek violence; instead, they wove the evidence into a grand tapestry, displayed at the city square during the annual fair. The narrative tags on their goods now included calls for justice. Public outrage swelled. Crowe's empire crumbled under boycotts and investigations. He fled Eldridge in disgrace, his factories seized and reformed under worker cooperatives. Years passed. Elara became the guild's matriarch, her embroideries now adorning royal courts. Finn, grown into a young man, innovated with mechanical looms powered by river wheels, blending tradition with progress. Thorn stayed, a steadfast uncle, his wanderlust quelled by family bonds. The city, once cold, now celebrated the Weavers as heroes, proving that from the ashes of indifference, a single spark, twisted by fate and fortified by resolve, could ignite lasting change.